Tonight marks the end of Premier League football for this season at Stamford Bridge, but it is also the start of something very special. Fans returning to stadiums up and down the country to support their teams in person. The noise will be huge for this game, and it is a huge game itself. Chelsea and Leicester City do battle again, this time with Champions League qualification in sharp focus. Hello and welcome to Matchday Live. It's going to be a good one tonight. I'm joined by Jason Cundy, Pat Nevin and Savage Dan. Lads, it wasn't quite the weekend we were dreaming of, Jace. It wasn't to be, but there's plenty of reasons to be optimistic about the future, and tonight is exactly that, isn't it?
Indeed, yeah. The weekend was a gutting result. It's any piece of silverware comes along, you want it. You don't know when the next piece of silverware is going to happen, and we're going to be able to collect it. And it happens to be, ironically, against today's opponents who are sitting above us, just the 2 points. Today's game for me is bigger. It's bigger than what's happened at the weekend, but anything less than a victory tonight, I do fear for our Champions League safety unless we beat Man City in a couple of weekends' time. So it's enormous, guys. This is the biggest game of the weekend.
Oh, it really is, mate. That's the thing, though, isn't it? That is exactly it, Pat. Is, you know, the whole weekend prior to it, Friday, and I'm sure we all had the same chats with our WhatsApp group. We even spoke about it on the pre-match show for the FA Cup final as well. It could have been one of the biggest weekends in the club's history. You know, FA Cup final, Champions League final for Emma Hayes' side in Gothenburg. And let's speak about that for a minute, because I know that you did a lot of work on it and covered it for Chelsea as well. But they said, obviously, Emma Hayes come out straight away and said they'll be back. And it's one of those things where immediately, as soon as I heard it, I think everyone went straight away, yeah, of course they'll be back. Of course they'll be back. This is the start of something bigger.
You have to keep it in a certain perspective, right? With Champions League, it's a gutter, right? And also the fact it was over in 36 minutes and you couldn't come back from that. They had a really tough time in that period of time. But they've got to be, they've been able to say they're the second best team in Europe. We couldn't say that a wee while ago. They've also had this most brilliant trophy-laden season. So, yeah, it feels bad just now. And that isn't good, right? But come on, let's be reasonable about this. This is a big jump forward. And she's not going to give up. Emma's not like that, is she? She will keep on going for it. So I was watching the game, I was covering the game, I was talking about it. And that 36 minutes, remember that period against West Brom where the men's team lost 4 goals really quickly? And it was just bizarre, right? Utterly bizarre. Well, they had a bizarre just over half an hour. And the second half, Chelsea women with a better team against Barcelona. And some people will say, yeah, that's because Barcelona took the foot off the gas. Probably wasn't. It was just a mad 30-odd minutes. And I'm gutted for her, but I've every belief she and the team will be back. By the way, Barcelona, good team. Really enjoyed watching them. But there's not 4 goals between those two teams. So, downer, and really fed up about the FA Cup as well. But that was millimetres. That game was decided on millimetres, and we were the better team, I think, over the piece. So I'm doubly gutted with that, but football's not easy. You need to bounce back, and tonight, if we win, I'm not saying we'll forget it, but it's put it in perspective.
Absolutely right. And again, it's a tremendously proud weekend for the club in general, regardless of result and the performances that have gone out and over the season. A massive reason to be proud and to look back very fondly on it. Right, well, you know what to do by now. It's Play Predictor time, of course. Your chance to win a £100 Megastore voucher and a signed shirt as well. All you need to do is get yourself on the Fifth Stand app and get your predictions in before 7:15. So you've got a little while to do that, but make sure you get that done. Shout out to Jamie Calzado, who won from the UK on Saturday. 47 points, which obviously gutting because we didn't win the FA Cup final. But he did win himself a Nintendo Switch as well as the usual prizes. So not a bad day's work for Jamie. Good work. Here's what we've gone for today then. I've gone for a 3-1 Chelsea win. Jason has gone 1-0. Dan has gone 2-1. Pat has gone 2-0. Dan, evening to you, mate. 2-1. It's obviously a big one. It's going to be a boost as well, having the fans back in. And like the boys have been saying, tonight is such a huge game.
Yeah, evening, guys. It's not a great weekend for us, you know. It was a nightmare weekend, if we're honest. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong. But the good thing about being a Chelsea fan is that we always get another chance to put it right, and we only had to wait a few days before we're in another big one. Today is as important as it gets, you know. We need Champions League. We're used to it. And even this, you know, we want to win this. It is very important that we do win it. But even this, we have 2 bites at it. So we have to try and go out there and get 3 points today, and I think we'll be good for it. You know, Leicester weren't exactly threatening at the weekend. It was just a strange game with really fine margins, and it was settled by a screamer. It happens. I'm expecting a bit more of an open game today. a tense one, but maybe a little bit more football. Aside from the goal and the disallowed one that we scored, there was next to no chances in that game in terms of clear-cut chances. So I'm actually expecting something that is maybe a bit more of an open game. And if we get it, hopefully it plays into our favour. But either way, we have to go out there and perform today. We've had our bad luck. Now it's time to turn things on our head.
Absolutely right. Well, let's have a little chat about Hot Topic 1 today, because it is a big deal. Welcome back to the fans. Stamford Bridge is going to have, we reckon, around 8,000 people in attendance tonight. Jason Cundy and Pat Nevin being two of them. But it's great to have them back. And even last night, watching the football from the Championship playoffs and seeing the games that have kicked off a little bit earlier in the Premier League as well, it gives such a buzz and such a boost. Dan, I know you were at Wembley at the weekend, and I made the comment to Jason and Pat, and we were having a little chat a little bit earlier. It sounded a lot louder than there being 20-odd thousand in there. But I suppose because we're not used to it, that noise it echoes around, it generates, it goes big. So how did you find it being in attendance in terms of the atmosphere and how it felt to be back around fans?
It makes more sense now that you said that there was 20,000 in there. I heard at first it was 12,000, and it felt like a lot more than 12,000. It sounded, there was a big atmosphere in there. It felt every bit like a cup final that was in a stadium that was pretty full. So it was a good atmosphere. I'm expecting something similar today. We need to make a lot of noise, get behind the boys, and try and make it just a hostile return for Leicester, and just put the pressure on and go and get that 3 points.
Jason, I know that you and Pat have spent the last year of 14 months or so in empty stadiums for us and done a terrific job. But do you miss away fans shouting at you when you're walking up to the ground, or you?
Do you know what? We don't not actually necessarily the way fans in before the game. It's during the game. You know, there's been many games here. Leeds actually are the team that I look at and think, imagine what it'd be like Chelsea Leeds here. And there were fans here on that day, I believe. I seem to remember, but. Yeah, look, without away fans, well, we can kind of kid ourselves a little bit that actually it matters that the fans here, the home fans. Of course it does. That's absolutely right. But without that animosity, without that rivalry, without that real vitriol between the two fans, that's where you really do get the atmosphere between two clubs for me.
Even that on Saturday when Ben Chilwell was introduced and obviously left Leicester in the summer, and I had to sort of taken aback a little bit. I thought, I forgot about that. You forget about
Totally agree.
Forget about connections and stuff, don't you? But you're right. Yeah. It's all part of the atmosphere. It's part of everything. And obviously having Chelsea fans back in the ground tonight, and then we're going to see Villa fans obviously at the weekend when we go to Villa Park at the end of the season. Pat, how big a part can fans play? Because I know it's such a big boost for some players, but some players as well, I'd imagine, would have quite enjoyed learning the game without the additional pressure of 40,000 fans cheering them on.
Yeah, people often say that, some players like lack of pressure. I've not met many of them, and I don't understand it, to be honest, because you always want that buzz. You always want your home fans, particularly against you. Maybe away from home, some people like the idea of not having 40,000 people calling them, well, we'll not repeat the words that we call, but but certainly everybody likes a buzz. Everyone likes excitement, and some of the people that have been in here have made as much noise as 20,000 people. Particularly that guy there. He makes quite a lot of noise.
2 meters apart. Good work, boys. Good work.
And but it's not the same. We need lots of Jasons and lots of buzz, and we're up for this tonight. We're excited about this. And if we are, every fan is as well. So the noise is going to be brilliant. Every fan knows in here how important this is. Every fan that's watching and listening knows how important this game is. This is Champions League. This is 90 minutes. We have to go and put a performance out there. And I know that if we put our best performance out here, we'll do it. And if we do it tonight, honestly, I've got every belief that Villa will topple as well. And we can go to the Champions League final and just enjoy it. Which is what we want to do.
Absolutely. Dan, it's everything, isn't it? It's the walk up from the tube station. If you get the tube to the ground, it's the as soon as you see the peak and the corner of Stamford Bridge coming into focus, you see people that are selling hot dogs and burgers on the way up. People that there's everything. It's the whole feeling of going to a football match that you miss more than anything. The game, of course, you miss that massively, but it's everything about being a fan and having those butterflies in your stomach as you get off the tube and you're talking about the game. It's everything, isn't it? Being a fan, going to games. It's been such a big miss.
You know what? I didn't realise how much I had missed it until I was coming up to Wembley at the weekend, and you see all the blue scarves, and you see everyone walking in the same direction and talking about the game, and it's a special thing, you know, and for a lot of people, it is almost a cornerstone of their lives. You know, you go to football every weekend. That is what you do. A lot of your life literally revolves around Chelsea's results. It's just how it is. So it's a good thing that football's back and that the fans are able to go and enjoy it. And hopefully it's a good omen having fans back at the Bridge today.
Absolutely right. We are joined by Ben Andrews, who's pitch side for us. Ben, team news for us, mate. It's getting noisy in there, but that's great. We love the noise. We love the fact that everything is getting a little bit leery and people are getting buzzed for the game. But have you got any information for us? Have you got team news?
Yes. 3 changes for Chelsea. Mendy back in goal, Chilwell for Alonso, and Pulisic for Ziyech in terms of the 11 that started. It's the same shape, same midfield. We wondered if Cover might get a go. Not yet. He is on the bench. Not on the bench, incidentally. Kai Havertz, Andreas Christensen, Billy Gilmore. Leicester, just as interesting, I think. I don't know if this is that much of a surprise. They've gone a bit old school. You remember they had, at the start of the season, the best away record in the division. That was before they discovered playing Iheanacho up top with Vardy could bring goals in another way. Iheanacho is out tonight. Maddison is in. So that smacks to me of Leicester doing what they do or did so well away from home, sitting back, one up there, counter-attack. So they've got Albrighton in as he was very early on in the cup final for Johnny Evans. Maddison comes in for Iheanacho. So one extra crafty midfield body and one striker fewer.
Ben, do you think it favours us playing against a 4 at the back instead of a 5?
Well, I think it'll probably still be a 5, Joe. In terms of Albrighton came on, didn't he, and played right wing back, and Castagna sort of shifted in, although you're probably more technically minded than me, but I think that's what it was. So, I mean, but Albrighton is not a defender first, is he? He's a bit like Callum shoehorned in there, but he does. I mean, he does work hard. We've seen it for a very long time. We saw him play in the Youth Cup semi-final for Villa about 1 million years ago, and he was a very good right winger then. But I'd rather they'd have played Iheanacho too, don't you think? Just thinking this is classic Leicester. I mean, the draw favours them more, doesn't it? Let's be honest.
I don't blame them one little bit. I don't blame them.
I think it's the right thing to do.
I totally agree. And I was expecting them to have a more solid base looking to counter. That's what Leicester were. And if you go back to when they won the title under Ranieri, that was who they really were. They played a 4-4-2 or a version of it. Okazaki would be that kind of 10, if you like, or Morris would be out on the right, and they would play a different kind of. But ultimately, they're a counter-attack inside, and Brendan stuck with that, but they have developed, they have become a more an attacking based side, but defensively still solid. Leeds away, I don't know whether you guys saw that game. They had I think all of their back line out. They played 3 at the back, counter-attacking. It was a brilliant display. They're going to play 4 today, I expect, but expect something similar. So keep a clean sheet, and they are favourites to get Champions League.
Ben, I want to pick your brain on this, because I know that you're our stat man, and that if there's anything to know, you'll know about it. But there's obviously quite a lot that could happen over the next week or so in terms of who's going to get top 4 football. Can you talk us through the situation and how it could play out? I
wanted to memorise it all, but there's a lot.
Can I just say, Ben sent an email to everyone, right? Pat?
Yeah. Disturbingly, it's all my own work. I don't think that's a good thing necessarily. Right. The simplest maths is win both and third is guaranteed. So it doesn't matter what anyone else does. Where it gets trickier is anything below that. I'm not going to tell you about no points and 1 point and 2 points, but let's say 4 points out of 6, and that doesn't matter if it's 1 tonight and 3 at the weekend or the other way around. 4 points will only be enough if Leicester and Liverpool are not perfect thereafter, if that makes sense. So Liverpool playing Burnley tomorrow and Palace at the weekend. Maybe a farewell to Roy Hodgson. They might lift it a bit, but I don't know. So 4 points then gets, that would be Chelsea 5th in that instance. If Chelsea win this game, Chelsea just have to match whatever Leicester do on the final day to guarantee finishing above them. Failing to match whatever Leicester do in that scenario. TV's Lee Parker. Failing to, can I get your autograph, please? Failing to match Leicester, and then it would mean it would come down to goal difference. And I don't know if you've all noticed, but it's 22 and 21 and 21. So goal difference is very much a thing. Chelsea losing tonight, but beating Villa on the final day, that would not be good enough to finish above Liverpool if they win both, or indeed if Liverpool get 4 points from 6, then it will be goal difference again. So it really does matter, the goal difference. It really does. And you're sort of hoping for it obviously in the Blues games, and also that if Liverpool do have to beat Burnley, for instance, tomorrow night, that it's only 1-0 or something, because that really genuinely could come into play.
Pat, I hope for Ben's sake you've not got a question.
Oh, yeah, I have. Absolutely. Ben, is it true that Liverpool, Leicester and Chelsea have all got it in their own hands? I think it is.
Well,
if each of them wins their own games, they win. Liverpool have got it in their own hands because either Chelsea or Leicester will not win these games. So I'm going to there is actually a way that Liverpool can win all 3 and not, believe it or not, but it would take quite a goal difference swing, strangely enough. So if Chelsea win tonight and beat Villa, that's 70 points. Leicester, therefore, losing tonight but beating Spurs at the weekend is 69. And Liverpool winning their last 2 games is also 69. It would then be goal difference between Leicester and Liverpool. On the presumption that they've won both games, Liverpool will probably therefore be above Leicester. But if Leicester, tonk Tottenham 5-1 or something, and Liverpool only win their 2 by a goal, then that comes into play.
And not to overcomplicate as well, but
ultimately, that's right. They do have it in their own hands.
In a weird sort of way, it is.
Yeah.
In a very strange scenario as well. All 3 teams can play Champions League football if Chelsea finish outside the top 4 and win the Champions League as well. Doesn't that work as well? If they're
yeah. Thankfully, we don't have the 2012 thing, which, let's be honest, still remains one of the greatest things that has ever happened in football. Finishing 6th and Tottenham finishing 4th and not getting it. Amazing. That could only have happened, I don't know if people know this, if Arsenal had won the Europa League and Chelsea won the Champions League and both had finished outside top 4, because UEFA let you have 5, but they don't let you have 6. So there is no way by which 4th place in the Premier League can miss out on Champions League football, just in case any of you are still worried about that out there in fan world.
Ben, I cannot tell you how much we value having you on this show, because I promise you there was a glazed look Dan included. There was a glazed look going, I've no idea what's going on. Just as long as Chelsea win, I think that's kind of the balance that I've got, Dan.
That's a good idea.
That's what I said at the beginning. Just 6 points out of 6 and it's 3rd, and then don't worry about the math.
Stick to that and you can't go wrong. Simple as that.
Are you confident, Dan? Because that's what it feels like to me. If you win both games, then it's fine.
I'm confident, and then I'm not confident at the same time, because there's just so many things, so many moving, just too many moving pieces to this. Just go out there and get 3 points, boys, please.
Yeah, that's it. Just keep it simple. Win today, and we'll think about the rest of it later, right?
Yeah.
Exactly right. That's exactly what we've got to do. Just focus on today. And unfortunately, that is all from us for now. We've got plenty coming up. Obviously, all the build up to Chelsea versus Leicester City. But first, let's have a little listen to the boss, who's been looking up a rematch of sorts against the Foxes tonight.
First of all, how much did what happened on Saturday hurt you and the players, and how do you expect them to react tomorrow night?
Well, it hurt us because once you reach a final, you want to win the final when you're so close, and we had to overcome a huge opponent in semi-finals, and we had the feeling that we deserved to be in the final first of all, and even after the match we had the feeling that we deserved to win it, but so we were hurt, of course, but disappointed about the result, yes, but not too disappointed about our performance. I think that given the circumstances that we play in different competition, which is not so easy, because usually the pressure and the tension builds up from match to match, and then it ends up logically in a final. That is not the case for us. We play in 3 competition, and you win the semi-final against Real Madrid, then you go back into race of top 4. Suddenly you are in the final again of FA Cup. Then you go back to race of top 4. It's not that easy to be focused and have the concentration level and the right amount of tension. It's not always logical, but and for that, given the circumstances, first time with spectators, a big match, we are not that experienced in finals with our young squad. It was an okay performance and enough performance to beat Leicester and to take the win away, but we were unlucky. And so there's nothing to worry too long about. And we spoke about the game. We had a post-match talk. And now we focus on the match tomorrow, which is the same opponent, but a totally different competition.
How do you think you need to approach this game? Is it simply a game that you have to win at all costs, considering what happened with Liverpool yesterday?
Well, that didn't make things boring in Premier League, that late goal from Alisson, that's for sure. But at all costs, I don't like at all costs, because at all cost means, at all cost means at all costs, and this is not what we do. We want to win games. We're in sports, and this is not about life and death, but it's super important for our ambitions. And this, of course, the situation is very clear. It's still in our hands. This is absolutely positive, and what we worked hard for, we should not forget. And we approach the game more or less like any other game. When the more tension is on, the more normal approach we use, because there is a lot of surrounding, there's a lot of talks, there's a lot of constellations, what happens if. So the best thing is to stay focused on what you can influence, and this is our performance. And so we approach this game like any other game, with a clear will and desire to win.
And how much of a difference do you think it could make to your players to have Chelsea fans back in Stamford Bridge tomorrow night?
I had in some matches where we struggled a bit and with momentum maybe, and I had the feeling during this run that in many matches that support could help now, and would be crucial also to our team. So having the fans back is fantastic, and I hope they come in the right moment to help us to secure this last win in Stamford Bridge this season.
And just the final one from me. Obviously, Tammy wasn't involved on Saturday. Is that tactical, or is it something that you see in training? And do you think he still has a future at Chelsea? Will he play for the club again, do you think?
Well, it's just the amount of people that I can nominate for a game, and it's then I have to select 18 for 20 position. And then we decided to start with Timo Werner on the 9, and we had Kai and Ollie who can play on the 9. So we decided not to have 3 number 9 on the bench. This is it. It's never personal. Kova was not in the squad. When Kova comes back now, and maybe Andreas Christensen, I need to figure out the squad and eliminate even 2 more players. This is the worst day and the worst decision for me in the whole week. Because I have to say, since I arrived here, everybody deserves to be in the squad. I understand his frustration, and it was not the first time. And we have other guys with the same situation to face. And this is not the moment to complain, and this is not the moment to explain too much. This is the moment just to live in the moment. These are the decisive 2 weeks now of the whole season. So this is the situation, and this is it.
John Southall, 5 Live.
Hi Thomas.
Hi.
Did you watch the Liverpool game yesterday? And if you did, what were your thoughts when the goalkeeper pops up in the last minute?
Honestly, I came home in the afternoon, and then I checked on I switched through the telly. I saw 1-1 in the middle of second half, and I thought, oh, that's not a bad result. So I was a bit superstitious and did not follow. And when I checked on my phone, it was actually 95th minute and was still 1-1. And when I checked 1 minute later on my phone, I had to realize that superstitious does not work always, and maybe never. But did not help not to watch it. Obviously, I took the wrong decision, if that had any influence. Well, like I said, that does not make things boring. It was a fantastic header. I saw it today. It was a fantastic header in the last minute. That makes things pretty interesting and pretty tight. But still, it's in our hands. And like I said, somebody asked me after the final if this was a major setback for us for Tuesday. No, the setback was the Arsenal game. It's our fault that it's so close again. We let the door open, and so Liverpool put a foot into the door. This is what they do. This is a strong team, and anyway, we had a huge effort to overcome them and to close the gap to them, to overtake them. This is what we did, and we can be absolutely aware of this huge performance that we did so far. But we want to finish the job and need to refocus today. Forget all the other results and rely on ourselves, because we are in the lucky situation that we can rely on ourselves and don't have to look on other grounds.
And how big a job is it for you to make sure the players are mentally ready? Because I suppose it's only natural that doubts are now going to creep in after a couple of defeats.
Yeah, of course. And then it's natural, also to be ready again. There was not. We were not so. I was more worried about and more angry about our performance in the Arsenal game, where I had the feeling that we were not sharp enough and not on point, and did not put the bar to the level to bring us a victory home. Still, we have, but what was not the case in the final. I think if we bring out the same performance like in the final, the same energy, the same work rate against the ball, and improve in, like we always want to do, slightly improve in details of the match and decision making, we are absolutely able to win matches. We are absolutely aware that we need a momentum and a bit of luck in any match to have results. That's like this. You see yesterday in Liverpool, this is nothing you can plan. This is just, this is sometimes you have the luck and sometimes you don't, and we clearly did not have it against Leicester. It's a bit of awkward feeling because we lost 2 games. If you look at all datas that we normally rely on, crucial datas that have actually also a correspondence and a correlation to the result, you see no reason on the datas why we should lose both matches, but we lost them, and so we lack a bit of luck in the match and the little decisions, and hopefully we can bring it back. But you cannot force it. I'm not a friend of now trying too hard. We try hard all the time, and we should rely on ourselves that we cannot try harder than we anyway try all the time, and this is what we demand. So. When the pressure is on, stay relaxed, stay calm, be focused on yourself, and do what you are best in. And this is like playing as a team, as a hungry team and an aggressive team. This is what we want to have tomorrow.
Last one, John.
As you mentioned a moment ago, 8,000 fans inside Stamford Bridge. It'll be the first time for you to have supporters at home, and it has to give you an advantage, doesn't it? Having them behind you.
Normally, absolutely yes. In a moment where it's the first time after over 1 year, I'm not. We have to see what's going on. It's 8,000. It feels amazing that it's possible, and it's a step in the absolutely right direction. And hopefully everything is okay with that. But we hope that it's the extra percentage of support that help us to win tomorrow.
James, talk sport.
Thomas, it's back-to-back 1-0 defeats. Are there any reoccurring themes that you feel that you need to get right in the next few weeks?
I think we had a lot of games that we won 1-0 with the same performance, with the same attitude and the same statistics. And I'm not only talking about how many kilometers we run or the opponents or ball possession. I'm talking about the statistics that really count and that have a correlation to the result. Like I said when I started, I will always try to be reliable with the players and look at the performance and try to criticize or praise them for what they did and not for what is on the scoreboard, because sometimes in football the result is not reliable and it's not sometimes not logical. And while we were winning the datas against Arsenal, but still I was missing a certain energy, a certain focus, and determination. Then we clearly speak about it with the team, and this is what we demanded and what we got 100% from the team in the Leicester game and in the FA Cup final. So no hard complaints and no hard feelings, and we are pretty disappointed about the result, but not about the way we behaved on the pitch. During the match, we can win the same match absolutely well deserved if we are a little bit more lucky, and the decision in front of the goal, the decision like later in front of our offside goal are tiny decisions and not in our favor, and this is what you need. So fighting hard now for getting the momentum back, for having another clean sheet. It makes you realize that how tight the race is and how tiny the margin is that decide in football for win and loss. So nothing else has changed, and it is easier to handle your self-confidence and to be self-confident in moments when you constantly win. But this is the target, and come on, nobody needs to be afraid of this situation. This is what we worked for so hard, and here we come.
One more, please, James.
And you spoke there about luck, momentum. How do you get that back now for these next 3 matches?
Do the same what we always do. Like I said, we were ready to win the game in the cup final, and I can also understand that after Real Madrid, a Manchester City game, and before a cup final, that there can be a bit of a drop of determination, a drop of focus for this Arsenal game. I have understanding. We don't want it. We never want it. We fight against this human. This human side to drop some percentage. We fight against it because this is our job to do it, but I can even understand it. And for Leicester, like I said, for Leicester, I have no worries. I have no regrets. I saw my team fighting. I felt my team fighting. I felt my team defending on a extremely high level again. We can improve in decision making. We can improve in composure. But this is, let's be honest, not completely new to us since we are together. So, except for the result, nothing much has changed, and I'm not afraid to say that these are not deserved losses, but still they are losses, and it's always a bit of a challenge to cope.
Welcome back to Matchday Live, a big one tonight. Fans are back inside the ground, and we know football is about the fans. They are the lifeblood of every football club. Home, away, rain or shine, victory or defeat, they are always there. It is great to see them back inside Stamford Bridge tonight. Chelsea fans have had their say on our men's player of the season too. Congratulations, Mason Mount.
Against Fabinho, looking for room for a shot. Mason Mount, he's got it now, and he's driven it in. It's a brilliant goal.
It's all about Mason Mount. It's all about that touch.
Oh, and a wonderful pass. Havertz is in.
Yes,
and Havertz has scored. Mason Mount has seen the pass and played it absolutely brilliantly. What a goal on the counter-attack. More brilliance from Mason Mount.
Got nowhere to go here. Drop of the shoulder, a little nutmeg.
Mount with good awareness towards Aspilicueta. This is Werner, looks to pull it back. Mount with a shot, finds the corner brilliantly. Goalless, but it's not dull. That's a great take from Mount. Beautifully made. Christian Pulisic forced wide. Mount there, that's it. Mason Mount. What a player to get the goal. The player of the season, surely.
What an incredible season. What a worthy winner as well, Jace. I mean, Mason Mount has been phenomenal this year. 53 appearances for Chelsea, made more appearances than any other player in all competitions, played more minutes than anyone else, has been a leading figure for club and country. Just, we are very, very lucky to have him at Chelsea Football Club, aren't we?
Absolutely, Joe. It wasn't a difficult decision for me. I don't know the figures, but I'm guessing it's a bit of a landslide. When we signed Werner, Havertz, Ziyech, and of course Pulisic came as well the year before, you look at Mason, and I think a lot of people felt that maybe he would be the one squeezed out. In fact, a lot of people, in the media that I work in and Pat works in, felt that would be the case as well. But I interviewed his dad about 3 or 4 weeks ago about that, and his dad said that Mason, all that did was spur him on. And Mason said to his dad, "Dad, they're not taking my place. They're not going to take my place." And the fact that we have a homegrown player, bearing in mind how much money we spend, and I think it's fair to say that the players that have come in have not really been what we hoped they would be so far. There's potential, right? There's potential. But for Mason to do what he has done is remarkable. He has been head and shoulders Chelsea's best player. He is the driving force for Chelsea. He's going to be a Chelsea captain to come. No mistake at all. He will wear the R-band, and he will be a John Terry-esque type of figure. We love him. We're very lucky to have him, and it's a worthy. I can't praise him enough. It's absolutely right thing that we give him the Chelsea Player of the Year. So congratulations to him, congratulations to his family, and congratulations to Chelsea's academy as well, because that's a remarkable feat.
Absolutely right. I want to pick up on something you've said there about his leadership qualities, Pat, because he's captained the side under Frank Lampard and Thomas Tuchel, 22 years of age. Like we said, a regular for club and country, but it's the way that he has an influence on games as well, isn't it? It's not just a case of being about or being involved or being the one that shouts the loudest. It's when you lead by example, when you represent the football club in such a positive way. Pat, what have you been impressed with most about those qualities in such a young player?
Well, such a young player's number one, and that's the thing you learn about it. And he knows he walks onto that field that he has to be the best that he can be, and then he gets better than that, and then he improves. That's the odd thing about him. When he first came in, I was trying to look where his strengths were, and I'm thinking, yeah, I like that. But are you going to keep on improving? And I sometimes say that, or ask that question with a slight sigh in my voice, because I know they don't improve that quickly, because a lot of kids, they get to a certain point and think, yeah, I've got there, I've done that. And there's a kind of plateau for a while. Not with Mason. Exactly the opposite with Mason. He improves in every area of his game. And it's got to the stage now. We've got a problem. Where are we going to stick Mason? Well, we'll sit in the sixth position, the back, more defensive position. Oh, put him as a 10. I should put him as left winger. I should put him as a right winger. Put him as a centre midfielder. Put him anywhere. Put him as a 10. It doesn't matter. He will do a spectacular job, and he will do it with a persistent brilliance. And also he's got that utter belief in himself. And he is, what age is he now? 22. When is it? 22?
22.
Going on 27, right? With that experience and that knowledge and that belief of himself. And it underlines it. He's almost a first pick for England. In fact, I would say he's a first pick for England as well. It's brilliant news. I would like to just absolutely echo what Jason said. Well done, Academy. It's so hard to get players through any club. But to get them through a club of this standard, we've known over the years how hard it is. And they're producing a bunch just now. And at the moment, we can't argue. He's the best of the bunch.
Oh, absolutely right, Dan. It feels like such a silly question to ask, because he's already scored in the Champions League semi-final against Real Madrid this season. He scored an important goal away at Anfield against Liverpool. He scored against Porto in a quarter-final of the Champions League. He's played for England, a leading role in qualifying for a major tournament. How good can Mason Mount be?
I've been asking myself this for a while, and I can't even. A lot of players, you can see where their level is. You can't quite figure it out for Mason. It's as high as he wants to go. He's technically Definitely. As good as it gets. He could take the ball either side. On the half turn, I can't remember seeing many players better than him. I don't know. It doesn't matter where the ball's come from. On his first touch, he's ready to hurt you, and he's you know, got a top mentality. You can see he's very driven, wants to try hard every game, got tenacity. And then on top of that, you know, he just keeps improving. He's on his day. He's unplayable. You know, he scares players all day long just because he's willing to run you into the ground. He's got technical ability, and then on top of that, he's very, very clutch. You know, that's the one thing that a lot of players don't have. Yeah, you can play all well when things are going great, but he scored a lot of important goals for us, and he's had a lot of important games, and it almost seems like the bigger the stage, the better the performance.
Absolutely right. Well, I wanted to test you boys on this a little bit because obviously I think we're all fully expecting Mason to go on and win Player of the Year a number more times during his Chelsea career. Because like we just said, the levels he's reaching already at 22 years of age, a man that's captained Chelsea already, this is going to be the first of many. So there are 10 Chelsea players in history that have won more than one Player of the Year. Okay. So I wonder if any of you boys fancy jumping in and saying, I tell you, I'm going to start and go around a little bit. Pat, I'll start with you. Can you name one of the 10?
I'm going to cheat and say the easy one, Frank Lampard.
Yeah,
he's the most, hasn't he?
He's won three. He's won three. There's someone that's won more than him. Dan?
Didier Drogba.
Drogba's won it once in 2010. But again, phenomenal. Jace?
Hazard's
won 4. He's won the most. Pat, any more?
John Hollins.
Yeah, John Hollins won it twice in 70 and 71. Dan?
That's it.
John Terry.
Yes, mate, absolutely. 2 in 2001 and 2006. Jace?
Has Frank Lampard been said yet?
Yeah, Frank's been said, yeah.
Frank's been said, right, okay. Ida Gudjonsson?
No, I've not got either on this list. The reason I'm asking you, and this is, I knew this was how it was going to play out because Pat Nevin is on this list. He's won it twice. Right?
Do you know what? I wondered that.
Right.
Honestly, why didn't you say your own name? Look. He's. Why didn't you say your own name?
I knew this was going to happen because he's far too humble. He is far too humble.
Do you know what? That's killed me because I won Young Player of the Year. He won Player of the Year 1 year, right?
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Since he didn't sound thinking, gee, I'm pretty sure Pat did it. He's killed me. He killed me, Pat.
He has some other, geniuses on this list. Gianfranco Zola won it twice. Dennis Wise won it twice. Juan Mata won it twice. Ray Wilkins won it twice. David Webb, Petr Cech and Michael Essien have got 1 each as well. So, it's very much going to be in that bracket. And Pat, as a man that's won it twice, what does he need to do to continue the level he's at?
I know it's actually much harder now. Some of the players that are around this club just now are incredible. And to win it once is amazing with this group of players. But he's capable of doing it again. Keep on doing what he's doing. I think it'll be harder next year for one reason. Not because he's not brilliant, because I think other players, such as Pulisic, such as Havertz, they could be brilliant next season and could be up there. But I'll be honest with you, I did win it twice. Won it once was an extraordinary honour for this club. Because I, like yourselves, grew up thinking what an amazing club. And I wouldn't have crossed my mind, I wouldn't have dreamt of it to win it once. So Mason probably felt that as well, but he's utterly deserving. And I'm so happy for him. I will be amazed if sometime in his Chelsea career he doesn't at least make it 2.
Absolutely right, mate. Well said. Well, I'll tell you what, let's have a little look back at the weekend. And obviously, I don't think anybody says that we performed badly at the weekend. It just went down as one of those days. Luck wasn't on our side. Pat's had a little look at what we need to do differently tonight to make sure we get the 3 points in the bag.
It was a form of torture at Wembley against Leicester City. And we created good situations, and Werner obviously has pace down the right-hand side where we knew that Solskjaer isn't the quickest. We tried it time and again in the first half, down that right-hand side, looking dangerous, not using Reece James because he was further back, but time and again Timo Werner was getting into that area, but we just couldn't get that clean, clear cut chance that we wanted. Once again, down the right-hand side there, it's a very decent position here, and Aspi is millimetres away from it, and that was a shame. We defended well throughout the game. They had very, very few chances, closing down and then playing it calmly out of tight situations, and that was very good there. And of course, Tony Rudiger loves a tackle, and he did that all day long. They didn't have many opportunities, but we had a few. But their opportunity came from that handball. We did everything right here, but now and again was a screamer. You can't do much about it. But we didn't give up. We kept on going for it, and that is an astonishing save. You can say no more than that. That's a match-saving save. But this is the painful part. Great movement by Chilwell. Gets into that area. It'd been a good substitution, and everybody thought it was onside, except the computer. VAR made the decision. It was torture. We deserved more than that. The fans deserved more than that. And had that goal stood, we would have gone on and won it. But it didn't. And us and Thomas Tuchel has to deal with it.
So let's have a little look at the game from the weekend in a little bit more detail. Then I know it's obviously a painful one because it's a cup final defeat and no one wants to be there. But Dan, I think the thing that we all said this, we said this in the Matchday Live after the game as well, was there was a lot that went right on the day. There was a lot that went right. There were things that perhaps on another day, I mean, Yuri Tielemans doesn't smash one in the top corner from 30 yards every week, that's for sure. But there's so many things that could have played out slightly different. The VAR thing's annoying, but that's football, and he's offside, so we have to move past that. But what did you think was the key thing that did go right at the weekend for Chelsea?
I thought for at least the first 30 minutes we were on top of them. We kept the ball better. We were, I wouldn't say creating, real full chances, but at least breaking the lines between their midfield and their defence, getting in between that space there and having a couple of shots. So we had the better of the game. I think we allowed them to kind of creep back into the game a little bit, and maybe perhaps we were sleepwalking a little bit. It was a game of very few chances, and then we got hit with an absolute rocket. And obviously there's a potential handball in the build up there as well. It's just when the football gods aren't smiling at you, stuff like that happens. You get a 30-yard screamer out of nowhere. You don't get a handball. You get a goal disallowed. So yeah, the last week or so we've just not had our luck. So I'm hoping that we get this week and next week instead.
It's strange how it lines up, doesn't it, Jay? Because obviously the Arsenal game we hit the post twice in about 6 seconds, and at that point you go, okay, it's not our day. And then at the weekend again, when you have Tielemans smashing the top corner from 30 yards after, like Dan said, having the lion's share of the game up until nearing that point anyway, that's football sometimes, but when you're the manager and you have to go again 48, 72 hours after it, the same opposition, what's the one thing that you look to nail for tonight? What's the one thing that Thomas Tuchel would have said to his players?
Well, I think when you look at the team selection from both managers that we've looked at now, Tuchel clearly sees this as a priority. Not to say that at any stage he hasn't seen the FA Cup as a type of priority, but I think if it was a Champions League final that we played on Saturday, you'd see a very different team. You've seen the changes today. Today is one of his strongest selections that he can make. And I think when you do make changes like that and the opposition play their strongest team, which they did, and he even took a risk on Evans, and Evans isn't playing tonight because of that, and he went into that game with an injury. I think that shows you where Brendan's priorities really lied. Because to win a trophy, to win the FA Cup, the first FA Cup in Leicester's history, is remarkable. And we have to congratulate them and well done and all of that. But if it was the other way around, Tuchel wouldn't have made that decision in my mind. I think he would have rested that type of player, let's say Silva, for today's game. And I think that gives you some indication of where the two managers are thinking. Having said all of that, I think the changes did make a difference. Mendy in goal. I don't really understand why managers, and Tuchel's not alone, why managers do that. I think in finals, you play your best goalkeeper. You play your number one goalkeeper. And a lot's been said about could he have saved that, Mendy? Maybe, maybe not, possibly. But overall, did we do enough to really win the game? The answer to that question is no. And it took two pieces of brilliant. It's the Tielemans strike. It's a great strike. But the Schmeichel save from Mason Mount, do not underestimate. That's a brilliant save. That's as good as a goal. And also the Chilwell header where he pushes it onto the post. So you're right. On the day, we didn't come up with enough. Congratulations to Leicester. But tonight, for Chelsea Football Club, is more important. It's bigger for the whole club. So listen, we'll see. At the end of 90 minutes, we'll find out who made the right calls.
Pat, it does feel a little bit as well like it's a perfect storm, and I'm not talking about the weather, because I know there'll be a lot of Chelsea fans that have got wet getting into Stamford Bridge tonight, but the noise that's surrounding, you can hear it in the background there when Jay's talking. You can hear the fans cheering, and it feels it gives you a warmth, doesn't it, that the fans are back inside for such a big game like tonight. So what will happen differently for tonight than happened on Saturday?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I want to ask the question, Reece James to be playing different positions. I want Reece James ahead of Aspie. And I know it's taking a chance because Vardy likes to play in that hole. It'll be up pure pace against Thiago Silva and Aspie. Now, he's quicker than both of them, but they're clever. They're intelligent defenders. They know he's got that pace. Thiago Silva's going to have to cover that and learn it and know it. We need what Reece gives us going forward. And tonight I want to see that. So, but number of changes. Also, when you get enough balls coming in for the right-hand side, yeah. Maybe Christian Pulisic getting into that area. Watch Mason Mount tonight. He will be flying into that area, time and again, making sure that he's on the end of stuff. I'll try to get the end of stuff as well. And a lot of it will be coming from left, but most of it I think will come from the right. And I think we need to make sure Werner, Pulisic, Ben Chilwell, Mason, get there. Just get there. I think we'll make chances tonight, just like against Real Madrid. And we made chances then. Maybe that we even change the system tonight. We might start with two up front tonight. We might actually start with Pulisic up front with Werner, Mount with the two in the midfield. And we did that against Real Madrid, and we were boss. We were different class. It doesn't sound ultra positive. When you start with those three in midfield, they're unstoppable. And each time, one of them can break off and help. So I wouldn't be surprised if we start, or at some point, we do that. So it's quite a lot of things can change. But we will be more positive in this game. And we will go for it. We need to go for the juggler. And we will tonight.
Dan, I know your contacts book is extensive, mate. Have you got any friends that are within the Leicester squad that perhaps over-enjoyed the weekend? It's a historic weekend for them. They've won the FA Cup final for the first time in their history. Maybe there are some players that enjoyed it a little bit too much and perhaps won't be at their sharpest today.
There's rumours of hangovers. So yeah, let's hope that they bring them onto the pitch and don't bring the hangover that makes you play with more freedom and flamboyance. But yeah, look, I expect Leicester to know that they can't really celebrate much either. They know this is, they're in just as much hot water as we are in terms of falling out of that top four. They'll take this seriously. But we've just got to hope that we're on top of them. We've got the home advantage. We've got the deeper squad. We've made the necessary changes. And like Pat, I really would like to see Aspie and Reece James swapped back round.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see how it works, isn't it? And in terms of that, because we've seen that change happen before the game on Saturday. It can change midway through the game, even tonight, if it's something that Thomas Tuchel was looking at. Someone that's going to have a great view tonight, because again, Dan, me and you are fuming, mate, but fans are back inside the ground. Jason's there, Pat's there. Abby McCarthy as well. The brilliant Abby has managed to get a seat as well. And this is her journey to the ground. Have a look at this.
It feels so good to be back at the bridge. Look how beautiful it looks. Starting to fill up with the crowd now. The chants are starting slowly but surely. Oh, it's just amazing to see fans in the ground. Football has missed you so much. I feel like tonight is going to feel more special than ever. And it's a huge game. What a way to return to the bridge. Come on, Chelsea. Please do this. The crowd is going to go absolutely mad if we win this. Come on.
Here we go then. Our very own Abby McCarthy in the ground as well tonight. Abby, I'm hoping you're bringing a bit of positivity and luck to it. Again, I mean, you've got to stand near Jason, so I hope you brought your earplugs as well. This is exactly what I mean. So when you stood by Jason, it's probably best you can't hear much. He can hear me. He can hear that. So that's a good.
Wait, how dare you say that about Abby? How dare you say that? Honestly, Abby, you want to hear what he's saying about? He's taking you right off here.
We can see Jay on Pat's camera as well. So it's like got a 360 view of this. It's unbelievable. Access. Got cameras everywhere down. But again, back to tonight's game, because it's such a big deal. It's such a big thing to have fans back in the ground. And again, we've already heard the noise, and you get excited seeing people's Instagram story of them walking up to the ground again. The fact it's in our own hands tonight, the fact we've got the extra 10% of fans being there, you've got to be going into it confident tonight, haven't you?
You asking me?
Yeah, go on. You go, pal. Yeah.
I mean, you have to. You have to. I mean, I'd like to see us be quite aggressive in this game in terms of not necessarily throwing caution to the wind, but really playing like a team that needs 3 points rather than almost feeling our way into it. Obviously, you don't want to do anything silly early on, but we need these 3 points. We really do. And I expect us to play as if we do need it.
They are a very good side, Leicester, aren't they, Jay? And I know it's, we're not taking it for granted in any way, shape, or form. They're fantastic, and again, congratulations to them for winning the FA Cup final at the weekend. This is a massive deal to them, and they're a football club that has gone through a lot in the last 10 years or so that everyone's very aware of. So it is a lovely story, and unfortunately, it's us that are on the other end of the defeat, because otherwise, as a neutral, you'd celebrate that. But that said, they are a club that are looking to go places. An FA Cup is brilliant, but everyone knows, unfortunately, how football is now. It's if you're in the Champions League every season, that's what makes clubs sustainable at that top table, at that top tier. And you look at Arsenal and Spurs at the moment, who are a long way off it, and they won't be able to attract the same players. If Leicester can become part of that bubble, become part of those teams that you consistently see knocking on the door for Champions League football, there's a big moment, isn't there? It's almost a shifting of power that could be going towards Leicester. That's why tonight's so important for them as well as us. Yeah,
it's a huge game for them. This is a season-defining game, I think, more for us than it is for them. If they finish fifth with an FA Cup, that's been a really good season for them. If we finish fifth with an FA Cup, it's been a bit disappointing, isn't it? It's been, it's okay, we've got silverware. If they finish with an FA Cup and top four, that's remarkable for a club the size of Leicester. And they are. If you look at what they've done and how they've done it and who they've overtaken, you mentioned Arsenal and Spurs there, for example. Leicester City Football Club over the last 7 or 8 years have developed into one of the most finest running football clubs financially, with the owners. The recruitment has probably been the bit that most fans might not see on the outside, but recruitment is absolutely key at every single club. Their recruitment policy has been probably better than any other club. And I put Man City in that because financially they can afford to recruit in different areas. Mm-hmm. But getting players, Mahrez, N'Golo Kanté, we've seen Tielemans come in. Even going back to the days of Jamie Vardy, who they paid £1 million for. Look what he's done. So it's an incredibly well-run football club. But, and it's a big but, all of that goes out the window today. I don't care how well run they are. I don't care who they are. I love Brendan. I know Brendan very, very well. I messaged him after the FA Cup final, congratulated him. And, and he said he loves the club, but, it means a lot to him. But you know what? Tonight is enormous because we are a football club whose financial status is based on being in the Champions League. Leicester's isn't. Leicester can't afford to be out the Champions League and it'd be okay. Chelsea, not in the Champions League, is not okay. That's how big this game is for us.
Well, this is the team that Thomas Tuchel has selected for that job tonight. In goal, Edouard Mendy, a back three, captained by Cesar Azpilicueta. We think Thiago Silva and Antonio Rudiger alongside him. Reece James on the right-hand side. N'Golo Kanté and Jorginho in the middle with Ben Chilwell on the left. The front three of Mason Mount, Timo Werner and Christian Pulisic. Plenty of names on the bench, obviously. Kepa, Marcos Alonso, Tammy Abraham, Kurt Zouma. Mateo Kovacic back in the squad for the first time since the 10th of April versus Palace. That is very, very big for Chelsea tonight. Olivier Giroud, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Hakim Ziyech and Emerson as well. Pat, our hot topic 3 for tonight is something that you've been championing from the start of it, but also you've been saying that every team involved has it in their own hands, which you are absolutely right, they do. And as Ben run us through the permutations a little bit earlier on, but the fact that we do control our own destiny as a player going into games like tonight, if you know that you don't have to rely on other people, does that make you feel a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more relaxed or not?
Simplifies everything. You know where you are. You know what you need to do. Everybody knows it's a win. It's dead easy. It makes life a lot more simple because you're not sitting back and, we've got a kind of habit of getting 1-0s, some 0-0s, and we can't really do that tonight. We need to go out. I think Dan said it there really well. Have a go at these people. We really need to show them our capabilities. It has to be high tempo. They're going to, I don't know if they'll do 4-5-1 or 5-4-1, but it's basically 9-1 for a half of the time. They'll be all back there. And we need to play at a tempo that asks them questions all the time. So don't pass it forever and ever and ever around that big bunch of 9 players. If we need to get it in, we need to get it in. We need to attack it, we need to attack it. We need to ask questions. We means shots from outside the box with pace, look for deflections, we do it. But we don't wait until 75 minutes to turn it up. We need to turn it up right away. And that's what I want to see tonight. And that's what will give us the intensity to go and win the game. Because if they're leaving, Madison's a great player. He's not fully fit. Vardy's got great pace. But if we go the right way, we can wrap this game up pretty early, I think. But we need to go at that pace right from the start. And I'll be disappointed if we are measured at the start. I don't want to see that. I don't think it's a day for that.
No, I completely agree. And Dan, the fact that we've got, and it is a tough game as well. Final game of the season against Aston Villa. It's a team where you look at and you think that's a tough place to go. Villa part. We've obviously got John Terry's part of the coaching staff, so you know that any team that's got John Terry involved are going to be a difficult team to break down and play against. But when you look at tonight, the importance of tonight will then only carry on to the importance of Sunday. It's one of those where it's not a case of you get it done tonight, it's fine, it's finished. This is 50% of the job tonight, isn't it? Yeah,
hopefully John Terry does us a favour, wink, wink, and just, puts out a bunch of 18-year-olds or something like that. But today is only 50%, and it's the same for Leicester. They haven't got it any easier. They've got to go to Spurs, and Spurs are just, fair enough, they've not really got much to play for, but they're nasty enough to just nick points of you just because they can. So it's not done for either team, regardless of what happens today. We have to just, like Pat said, we have to attack this game from the very first minute. Don't sleepwalk and wait for a mistake and wait for the game to come at you, because this Leicester team can hurt you if you do that. We've got to take the game to them straight away. And that's it. There's all we can ask for is a high tempo game, and just to keep knocking on the door.
Jace, it's as well. I know we've been speaking a lot about the fans returning to the ground today, and everyone's been given a sort of a little bit of a boost. I think I felt it all the way across football in general, that teams, players, managers, fans have all had that little bit of boost, because there's that end in sight. The think that you dream of going to games again, and the fact that perhaps after naturally a disappointing weekend because things didn't go our way, to have this as an extra little boost, an extra little bounce to come in today, that is going to play such a huge part. I don't think we can overestimate that, can we?
No, I'm going to take my headphones out. I don't know if you guys can hear, because it's
No, nothing, mate. Oh, there you go.
You can hear it.
All right, I'm getting jealous now. Pop them back in. Mate.
It's a mate, honestly. You can hear the crowd, and do you know what? There may well be a moment in this game. There may well be 10 minutes in this game. There may be the last 3 minutes of the game where you lean on the crowd if we need a goal. And do you know what? Honestly, I can't believe it feels like there's 42,000 fans in here right now. That's how it feels, just listening to it now. And I feel so privileged to be here. And it's honestly, it's quite emotional, actually, just to sit and have humans around me, because every game I've been here, and I'm speaking on behalf of Pat, I'm sure, but there's no one here. It's a ghost town. No one. Everywhere you look, and you've got humans sitting in seats about to watch a football match. It's brilliant. And do you know what? Those fans will make a difference today.
Mate, again, and we've said this before on the show, but thank you to you and Pat for what you've done the last 14 months to keep us engrossed in the game and keep us across everything. You've done a fantastic job. But I am going to write that down, because Jason Cundy poetry of "there are humans around me" has to be right up there with one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard, mate. It was stunning. Yep. Absolutely lovely, mate. Good work. But
human beings.
Pat, just quickly from you as well, mate. In terms of Mateo Kovacic back in the squad as well tonight, that's such a big deal, because lest we forget, he was Chelsea's Player of the Year last year. So such a big positive to have him back in the side tonight. We've had to mute you because, like Jason's just shown us, it's getting a bit noisy. Off you go, mate.
Yeah, you want everybody available. We've got 1 or 2 missing, but we've got enough quality. And by the way, talking about people have made this.
Oh, we are losing you a little bit, Pat. We are losing, which understandably. Understandably, everyone's using the Wi-Fi inside Stamford Bridge. It's got 8,000 people in there tonight. That's why, clearly, but not long until we hand over to our commentary team. We'll absolutely sort out, not a problem. We've mentioned last season's Player of the Year. It's time to hear from this season's Chelsea's Player of the Year. He was given the award shortly before the warm-up tonight and had a quick chat with Lee Parker.
Okay, so in the course of the last week, you have been voting in your thousands for your Player of the Year. And I'm delighted to say you're stood with us right now. Please give a warm welcome to your Player of the Year, Mason Mount. Mason, first of all, huge congratulations. It's been such a fantastic season for you. What does this award mean to you?
Yeah, it means a lot. Obviously, following the footsteps of some legends from this club, it means a lot to me. And the season's not over yet. We've still got 3 cup finals starting today. So hopefully we can finish on a high.
I know it's a heavy trophy. Make sure you can lift it up so everyone can get a good look at it. It's been such a fantastic season. What does it mean to celebrate in front of fans once again here at Stamford Bridge?
Yeah, this is to see them all back at the bridge. We've missed them for so long, not them being here, and yeah, you can hear them. It gives us that extra motivation. So thanks to them, and we do this for them.
As you mentioned, the season is far from over. It could turn into be a very special year, couldn't it?
Yeah, it can be, and we want to achieve greatness. So we're going to keep working hard. As I said, it starts today. But yeah, I want to say thanks to the academy, all the coaches that I worked under, Jim Fraser, Neil Bath. This is to them as well.
Mason, once again, huge congratulations. We'll let you go and warm up. Good luck tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, please give it up for your Player of the Year, Mason Mount.
Here we go. Congratulations, mate. Let me check that. That's looking good. Just turn it slightly that way. That's it, so I can see. That's it. Great.
Good evening, folks, and listen to the roar. It's not fake, it's real. Welcome to you all, wherever you may be. Ben Andrews and Pat Nevin here, sharing the nerves on a big night at Stamford Bridge, where it is warm, and yes, there are fans in. It's a quarter full, it sounds